if you're feeling a little extra judgmental or like your opinions need to be known no matter what, it may be because of Gate 18 and the transit that's happening this week. You may also have it in your human design body graph. My name is Brenna, and welcome back to my channel where we talk all about the human design elements in gates, astrology, all of the things to help you practically integrate this information in a way that makes more sense for you. I have an entire playlist about all of the gates in human design. So if you want to know more about other gate placements in your human design body graph outside of the transits, or in addition to the weeks of the year that these transits happen, you can check that out on my page. How we usually start off is I read an excerpt from Chet and Parkin. I'm going to read about Gate 18, which is the gate of correction in human design, also holding the fear of authority. Gate 18 sits in the spleen center, or the spleen chakra in human design. So any gate that's there has an associated fear with it, which is perfect for kind of like peak spooky season. So with that being said, Gate 18, there is a Chinese saying which states, work on what has been spoiled. And the essence of this message is that we can undo damaging patterns from childhood and become home again. With this gate, there's an inclination, even a yearning, to undertake inner work that heals scars left by parents, relatives, teachers, and society. The fear of authority or authority figures is what this gate placement holds. Something can be spoiled by accepting somebody else's way of doing things and can be cast in stone. That can be personally disempowering. This can relate to patterns from your childhood and the way that you've been raised, or fossilized traditions with no relevance to your present day life. Gate 18's goal is to review the old ways and traditions to bring about improvement for yourself and society. The improving gate senses when you are being overly hard on yourself and perhaps blaming yourself for episodes from the past. It therefore nudges you into addressing matters which, once healed, will make your nature sing with a newfound freedom. It provides an inner prod to be aware of the certain attributes that might have been borrowed or imprinted through conditioning or implemented from other people and are nothing to do with your true nature. Noticing the difference between learned behavior and your true nature is key to your happiness. Gate 18 is essential to uplifting and updating society's ways, balancing patriarchal and matriarchal patterns. Are old traditions relevant? With this gate, there's a tendency to blame yourself for everything that appears to go wrong in your life. It is a form of guilt complex. It is a form of guilt complex that can lead to personal decay. So learn to be softer and kinder to yourself and recognize that your path to relieve yourself and others from conditioning only requires your presence, determination, and alertness. Accepting your weaknesses instead of blaming yourself for them requires inner strength, and you can fall back on Gate 18 to provide it. So this is a great week to do shadow work, to get out that journal that maybe is literally about shadow work. But each of the days of this transit, or if you're somebody with this gate placement, is going to be heavily steeped in those concepts. So without further ado, let's get into each of the transit dates with this energy and each of the profile lines, or the ways that it can express itself differently in your personal human design body graph. If you want a free copy of a human design body graph to see if you have Gate 18, I have a free chart generator in the show notes below. Starting with Gate 18 in the first line, this is known as the line of conservatism. And this is where we see the impact over time of making small incremental judgments and changes to be able to help other people or help ourselves. In its detrimented aspect, it's being so stubborn and not being able to correct bad behavior. On the second day of this transit, or Gate 18 in the second line, this is known as the line of terminal disease. And basically in its exalted placement, actually, it's accepting that there may be no ability for anyone or anything to change. And the detrimented aspect is being so stubborn that you actually make yourself sick because you are trying to get somebody or someone else to change. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. The third day of this transit, or if you have Gate 18 in the third line, this is known as the line of the zealot. And basically this is learning how to critique effectively. It reminds me of the show Work of Art on Bravo way back when, if you saw that reality TV show, one of my favorites. But also being in art classes in school, my background's in art history, and really learning how to critique appropriately. Now, in the detrimental aspect, it's being super critical with just for the sake of being cruel without actually anything satisfying happening on the other side. So paying attention to that today. Gate 18 in the fourth line is known as the line of the incompetent. And this is in its exalted placement. It's where we can notice that suffering can happen when we don't have an ability to correct things appropriately. So getting the skills that you need to be able to correct yourself is going to be really important today, or if you're familiar with this transit, or if you have it in your human design body graph naturally. In its detrimented aspect, this is sitting on your judgments and just creating a lot of anxiety. If you feel like you're walking through the world with a super critical lens, people can tell that you kind of always have that low grade bitterness and just you can't be bothered to be existing amongst other people. It's like when I go out in public and the public is there and being super frustrated, it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy of that anxiety and bitterness that you may not be noticing within yourself, but could also be noticing in other people. Gate 18 in the fifth line is known as the line of therapy, and this is where we really want to bring harmonious relationships together, where correcting and judgment and being two people that are facing a problem together versus fighting all the time is going to be more helpful. It's like, are you willing to go to therapy with the ones that you love to get the best, brightest outcome? And its detrimented aspect, it's the obvious opposite of this, where it's like sticking with somebody forever, not judging them, not correcting the behavior, which can lead to mental instability, or just like really seeing that instableness in your nervous system. You feel super frazzled because you are wanting to go to therapy for the people who need therapy who refuse to go. Gate 18 in the sixth line, or the last day of this transit, is known as the line of Buddhahood. And basically it is the exemplary aspect of being able to share like Buddha, be like Buddha, and really be an action-based inspiration for how you are leading by example. In the detrimented aspect, it's kind of like a teacher that's like a do as I say, not as I do, knowing what the correct behavior actually is, but not being willing to surrender to the correct behavior and follow the own rules that you have put so heavily on other people. So a short and sweet gate transit video to help you understand all of the nitty-gritty details of this Libra gate placement, holding the fear of authority. Pay attention to the authority figures in your life. Who are your mentors? Who are the people that you should be listening to or making alliances with that you know are going to bring you good benefit when you are willing to focus on a place of reciprocity? We always want to focus on alchemy, and what we give, what we put into it, we also get rewarded back, where we give credit where credit is due, both to ourselves and to all parties involved. So thank you so much for being here for this short and sweet Gate 18 video as we get into the beauty of Libra season. I will be back next week at the beginning of October for our Human Design Hotline on my lives at 7:30 to 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. That is available on the links on my page if you want to subscribe and be a part of the free conversation that we have about human design and astrology. So thank you guys so much for being here, and I will see you in the next video.